Let's see.
Oh, I got cards flying in all directions here. We don't want to take those ones. Too many of them. We're going to pick one, not five.
Oh, there's a whole bunch flying out. Okay.
Oh, yeah. Can you
So of
see us
course,
yet?
as always, if somebody's listening to this in the future,
Not
the reason
if.
we wear our glasses is because we want to bring awareness to the
Oh,
energy
there we
that
go.
everything is alive with chi.
Yay, even the cards are today.
Even the cards are alive with chi
They
today?
are so jumping out at me.
Okay.
So, and by the way, we choose a card for a topic. So how do they pick a topic? Well, we go to our trusty Feng Shui personal paradise cards by the one, the only, Tara Catherine Collins. Woo! Yay.
Crowd roars.
Oh, cool. Let me just check. I got to see if we've had this one before. I don't think we have. Got my handy dandy list right here.
Okay.
And we have not. So have you found us on Facebook yet? Are we on the right page?
I'm here. I see us.
Yay.
We're good. Yeah.
Well, we're good sometimes. Other times we're really good. Okay, so this is the image of the card.
Okay.
Which is quite fun. And it is number 50, children and creativity.
Ah.
We had a conversation about this in one of our interviews not that long ago. Trying to think of who must have been with Janice Gallant. With the creativity part. And we were talking about the children and creativity area of the Bagua and how quite often that's an area that is left to the end to look at, to see what's going on in it.
Yeah.
And yet it should really be closer to the beginning.
And why is that, Cheryl?
Well, when we're in creativity, when we're in flow, when we're in our joyful state, life's easier.
Yeah. And you know what? We are creators, right? We are creators. And I know for me personally, I've always, some people used to, years ago, used to say, oh, Anita, you're so creative. That was kind of like my tagline, right? Oh, you're so creative. You're so creative. Because I was.
Well, you had your flower shop and yeah.
Yeah. And, but the thing is, when you're in that creative mode, what happens is the world stops. Everything around you stops. And you're just concentrating on whatever you're creating. So whether you paint or you sew or you do crochet or any kind of creative woodworking, anything like that, even just gardening could
piano,
be considered creative.
Music,
piano,
dance,
right? Yeah. So when you start to energize that part of you, then you're just simply in this space of being in the now. And that's why in Feng Shui, we relate this area of the Bagua, we call it children and creativity, right? Because it's a reminder to be like children.
Exactly.
Which, I have my grandchildren coming for the weekend.
That'll be fun.
And, it's so much fun because, you're just in the moment with them. And, they're not worried about this or that or what's happening. And, their children are always just in the moment. And, you start to giggle and laugh and play around and time literally stands still and, oh, oops, I forgot to make supper, or something like that. Yeah. But you're absolutely right, Cheryl. It is an area that a lot of times we don't give enough attention to in the home, right? And where might people find the children and creativity area in their home?
Well, because we utilize the Bagua and a non-directional approach, it's going to vary for every home, of course. So when you're standing facing inside, it is in the middle on your right hand side. I can pull up the function unless you have it.
Yeah, no, I'm just, yeah. So when you walk into your entrance, whatever's on the right hand side of your home, then kind of in the middle of that.
Yeah. So
roughly.
I'm going to share an interesting story. I was at a trade show a couple of years ago talking with this lady, and she was feeling very stifled. She was an artist. And, you know, things had gone on in her life, and a parent had passed, and then moves and all this other kind of stuff. And in the process of the parent passing, they had to go through all the possessions. Anyway, she wound up with this antique piano. And it's because her family wanted to keep the antique piano. It's not because she wanted it. And it wasn't working. It doesn't work. And when we drew out the bagua of her home, guess where it was sitting? Right smack dab in the middle of her children and creativity. When she had that aha moment, that awareness that, yeah, and you know what? That's about the time it got moved in, is about the time I started being stifled. Get it repaired, get it functioning, love the possession. And if someone else in your family wanted it, bless them with it.
Yeah. And you know what, the whole creativity thing, again, like I said before, we are creators, right? And so a lot of people don't have a practice, or don't allow themselves, and it goes back to that self-love, they don't allow themselves time to have some kind of creative endeavor, whether it's, you know, something that they did a long time ago that they're passionate about, or
learning something new.
Yeah, something new, or to, you know, to take the opportunity to learn that something new. And it might be, you know, doing clay work or just something. But again, I think that it really is an important piece, and should be almost integrated into our daily routine, if not weekly routine, to take some time and do something creative. Because it will kind of, you know, spark that piece of joy, that feeling of gratitude and happiness, and just, you know, just that ability just to shut off the world, just to shut off the world and get in your little zone and just do your thing.
Now, some people that cook
cooking
and get creative, they could be doing it constantly. Like it comes into our lives sometimes, and we're not aware of it either. Right? Yeah, so like for me, cleaning and organizing. Yeah. It's kind of creative, even though it's very left brain.
Good morning, Cynthia. Good morning, Charlene.
Good morning, ladies. Sorry, and I cut you off there, Anita. So
no, that's okay.
Go ahead.
I was just saying good morning.
It does help us nurture and bring out those childlike qualities, right? Now, if you're going to start something new, allow yourself to be in the moment of starting and learning, and take on. And I'm just sharing this from personal experience this year, because I took on learning how to paint, and there were many times I wanted to quit, and it would be an awareness would come to me like, let yourself take one step at a time. JB Owens, another interview we did on our flock, right? Said she went rock climbing with people that were experienced and just kept telling herself, I'm learning one step, one step, one step. And that helped me so much, because I had this perfection that I should be able to paint just like my teacher. I should be able to make that image look exactly like that. And when it wasn't, I was getting frustrated and I was getting annoyed. And that's not the intention behind it. But for me, it's part of my journey to let go of those expectations. And as adults, I think we're really hard on ourselves. Yeah. When we're trying something new.
So speaking of painting,
Mhm.
yeah, you know what? The painting behind you there in the corner, absolutely love it. And I mean, wow, you painted it,
I
right?
did. I
And
did.
I mean, like 6 months ago, you probably had never picked up a paintbrush, or
I
maybe
had
when you were
not.
in, kindergarten or
I
something.
did.
I
I
don't
did
know.
one paint night,
Yeah.
probably 4 years ago.
And now, I mean, look what just came out,
Mhm.
right? I mean, it's absolutely stunning,
Thank you.
beautiful. And I was
Thank you.
like, when you showed it to me the other day, I was like, wow,
Wow.
that's amazing, right? And so how does that, it makes me feel good, right?
Hmm.
My energy is elevated because you painted some, and it just, and I go, wow. And so that inspires me, and just, that alone just gets my juices going and going, wow, that's really cool.
Yeah.
And so the ability in that creativity to lift our vibration, lift our frequency, because you know what, really, that's what we're doing here
Yes.
at the end of the day, whether we're clutter clearing, whether we're using the bagua, enhancing our home with the 5 elements, um, any of those things, all we're doing ultimately is to increase our frequency,
Yes.
right? To become closer to source energy,
Hmm.
or the truth of who we are, our higher being. That is really, at the end of the day, what we're trying to do with all of this,
Hmm.
which is so cool. So
Yeah.
yeah, I
And in the end of all of that, when you're increasing your frequency, when you're increasing your vibration, the things that you want, you usually want them as a desire, are a higher frequency, because if they weren't, you'd have them.
right.
Then they're going to come easier to you.
Yeah.
And life is just easier, and you can become in the flow. And so, as we've talked about, Anita, where children and creativity is located, and we talked about the lady with the piano that didn't work in that area, how
Mhm.
could people, and let's talk about how they could enhance that area a little bit.
Yeah, and so, it's again with items that bring you great joy,
Mm-hmm.
items that are, handmade. It could be the fridge art from the grandkids, right? It could be, like a painting that you painted yourself. So something again that has deep personal attachment or deep meaning for you, that reminds you to be creative, and it doesn't, always have to be a creative kind of symbol, but also if it has that feeling of joy,
Mm-hmm.
right? What just, that being in the moment kind of feeling.
Mm-hmm.
And so sometimes, like I say, I mean, it could be a variety of possessions in the home that do that. And sometimes it's just a matter of, perhaps we can't enhance that area with something physical, but we certainly can, clear the clutter, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we could set the intention. We can write an affirmation, perhaps, some affirmation that encourages or welcomes the energy of joy and creativity in your life, right? So,
Right.
my intention might be to have, the people and or things that show up in my life that represent that for me, right? Yeah, all kinds of things. So yeah, I love that, children and creativity. So again, for us all here listening to this today and or in the future, this card could really just be that reminder that we
Mm-hmm.
all need. Just, go out and play. Go
Yeah.
play. Do something fun, you know, do something fun. Mhm.
Perfect.
Get
I
those
love
creative
it.
juices going, dancing, I don't know,
Exactly. Well,
take
and for
15 minutes and turn on your radio or
and
your,
just sing and
and
dance,
just
and
woohoo, go crazy. I don't know, have some
if
fun.
if you like doing that, right? But whatever it is, that you enjoy. I think that's the key to it all.
Yeah.
I think that's the key to it all.
Enjoy. Enjoy.
Perfect. Perfect. So now let's talk about the number of this card, the 50.
50. Well, we're definitely in the 50 club, so we can say yay to that. We won't say what 50
where we're
in.
at, but we're good. We're good enough.
We're in the 50 club. That's all I could say. We're not in the 60 club yet.
Some
we're
of
getting
us are
closer, but not quite. Yeah.
So based on, and I was just, if you're looking, seeing me look off to the side, I was looking up the number 5 in the double digitology book with Marilyn and Joy. And the first sentence, the 5 is change. So I actually think that's quite entertaining that this card is a 5 and it talks about children and creativity. Because for a lot of us, that means some change in our life. We've
change
taken
your
on
energy. Yeah. Change your energy.
You could have or put on some goofy glasses and dust. Put on a tutu and clean your house. Whatever. Be a fairy and make all the dust bunnies disappear. That would be quite the video. So the number 5 is a number that in its physical structure is balanced, yet it is poised for movement or action. It is ready and can roll around. When the 5 shows up in your life, we see that you are looking towards a change of some kind. You may be moving in several directions because you might feel the nudge to make some changes. Yet you are not sure which direction those changes will take you. So you sort of roll back and forth, searching for your own balance. Cool. That's based on double digitology and your knowledge of the number 5, Miss Anita. You got to share that with us because you're so knowledgeable when it comes to numerology.
Well, again, 5, whenever I see that 5, I think about change. But also if we look at, things in a cyclical manner, 1 being the beginning. And if we look at, like our calendar having 12 months in it, that sort of thing, like 5 is getting closer to the halfway point. And or if we look at the Feng Shui cycles, being 9, right? That number 9 takes us around the Bagua. Then 5 is, more than halfway through the 9, right? And so again, we kind of look at where we're at this year in our Chinese New Year. We are, kind of halfway through the new year. And so, I look at the 5 as kind of like, look how far we've come. And then, it's kind of an inspiration too, with maybe just a little bit of change, whatever it is, shifting some energy, knowing that we are, there's greater things ahead and there's opportunities when we embrace that change.
Exactly. Love it. So, and I just had a thought, I'm doing this in my head. When we talk about the Bagua, we like to start with health and family. And I'm just going to find the image of the Bagua. So guess how many numbers it is to get to children and creativity going around the Bagua.
5.
I'm pretty sure Tara did this on purpose because that's just Tara.
Yeah. Of course.
Let me just find the Bagua in here.
Yeah, number 5. Yeah. So like I say, because when we're talking about the Bagua and it has 9 squares, right? 4.5 is halfway. So, we could look at 5 as being kind of halfway around there.
I'm doing this backwards.
And so wherever you are, halfway in something,
there it is.
And again, it could also be a reminder of the completion, right? I was actually thinking about that yesterday. I have something that I'm going to be presenting when we do our 21-day decluttering challenge, and it's a project, something that I started that isn't completed. It's halfway done, right? So it's going to bring me more joy by completing it. Yeah,
Absolutely.
there's the bagua.
Absolutely. Yeah. So this is the bagua, and we use it in a non-directional approach. So this is your entrance quadrant. So depending upon where you are in your home, typically we start here with health and family. So we were talking about, where does children and creativity lie? This is children and creativity. So if you're setting this down at your entrance like this, you can see that this, the children and creativity, is on your right-hand side in the middle. So that'll give you some ideas as to where it is in the bagua of your home.
Yep.
Based on your perimeter. So, but yeah, 5. Love it. Love it.
Love it. Okay. Well,
any questions that we got popped up on there?
No questions this morning. Yeah.
Okay. Very cool.
Very cool. And yeah, so you know what? It's Feng Shui Friday. Everybody can have a fabulous weekend and do something fun, do something creative, do something that makes your heart sing. And I know for me, that's going to be hanging out with my grandkids. And I have a little list. We're going to the dollar store because we're actually got some creative projects that we have to do at Grammy's house. So,
fun.
Yeah, it's going to be fun.
Yeah, and for us, it'll be some work out in the garden, which is creativity for me, and a base of a new painting. So,
ooh, can't wait to see that one.